All right, now we're into another phase of the Mustang. We have the Mustang running right, we have it looking right, and now we're gonna have it sounding right. And we're gonna do that by a cold air intake. Do that by installing this. This is a cold air intake system by SR Performance. All right, this is everything that comes with. Be back in a second. I'm gonna put it all together and show you guys what it looks like. All right, once you have it together, it should look something like this. This is just a little mock-up to make sure everything fit and all the parts are there. Now, I quickly want to dispel a couple of myths about a cold air intake. If you have a cold air intake, it is not going to dramatically increase your horsepower. In some cases, you can actually lose horsepower if you have a short ram intake that just kind of a cone filter that's kind of sits right here and it doesn't really do any much. Now, cold air intakes can increase your horsepower, usually by the air filter. So in this air filter right here, it's a paper air filter. It's a common cause of restriction. They get dirty really easy. But did you know from the factory, this intake system right here, even though it's factory, it's actually a cold air system. If you see right here, this actually gets cold air sucked in from the bottom of the vehicle. But the biggest restriction is generally right here inside this filter. Let me show you. Now this right here is mainly where a lot of restriction comes from. So let's see the drop test. And you can already see a bunch of debris and stuff coming out of it already. And these paper filters, they got to be replaced pretty often. And this vehicle was sitting for a long time. So this is restricting some of the air that we got in there. The other reason why people perform a cold air intake is that it actually looks better. So if you actually look at our intake system right here, it just kind of look bland and doesn't really look too special. Cold air intake is going to give your engine a nice clean look. Next up, people like to install a cold air intake because it increases the sound under acceleration. So when this engine started up, I'll show you 1 second, hold on. So this is what it sounds like before the intake is installed. So this is what it sounds like before the intake is installed. All right, so right now we're gonna remove this old intake. We're gonna start here, we're gonna unscrew this, unplug these. Undo this. Undo this guy right here. It's kind of hard with one hand. And then once we get it out, we have to take these bolts out and then unscrew it from there and there. See in a little bit. I'll have it off 1 second. And then, as you guys can see right here, the intake's out. And you can see this is where the factory one gets its cold air from. It's coming from down here. This is the entry hole for it, which isn't really much bigger than one of these. Now we'll keep this because if I want to turn the car back to stock or sell it, well, I'll just throw the old one back on there. But for now, we need to get this math off and probably going to clean it up in there. All right, great. Now that we got the intake on, we're going to start it up and show you the difference. Now, tune isn't required, but I am going to throw a tune on there just to get everything nice and tight on there. All right, guys, and we got it on. It looks amazing. Got the engine started, and it looks good. It sounds great. No leaks or anything. Never checked all the clamps, everything's good. That's solid. Good job. Now that we got the intake on, we're going to perform a tune on it. The tune isn't required for the intake, but we're going to do it anyway just to get the most amount that we could get out this intake. If you guys pick these up, make sure you get a new one. They cost about $350 to $400 brand new as of this posting. But if you try to get a used one in the used market, they range between $200 and $300. The key is that it cannot be married. I was able to pick this one up, but it was married and it cost me $250 to unmarry it. Basically negating anything that you would pay in the used market for one. So do yourself a favor and buy this brand new. All right, screen is bright LED. I would say the refresh rate, it feels real slow. You could program like the noise that you're hearing from the clicks, but overall it has a real slow kind of feel to it. So from a design perspective, I think there could be a lot of improvement on this to be more of a quality feeling, especially for 400 bucks. I guess that's not too expensive, but the best part about it is you get to tune your vehicle. I mean, that's ultimately what you're trying to get. And that's also why I like these SN95s, especially this platform, is because of the tuning capability. If you don't know, tuning is one of the key factors in making your engine run at the peak performance and efficiency. Engines over the last few years haven't changed very much, but the tuning for the engines has changed tremendously. So tuners are getting better, and engines have a lot more sensors on them, and they're able to fine-tune your engine to a high degree with a lot of precision on it. And that's why I would recommend getting one of these tuners. Even though we just did a cold air intake, for future plans, having this tuner is going to be extremely handy, as we could get tunes downloaded, changed out, anything we need to in a very short period of time. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to show you some software features of this tuner device. All right, so you're going to have to go to this website called Bama Performance. And then you're going to need to look for, try to get to this page, which is how to load email tune from the X4. And just follow these instructions. And one key factor you're going to have to know is you cannot use these ones with the white. These are only a charging cable. Make sure when you have your USB device, make sure you have a black one. After you follow the instructions, you should finally be able to unzip and have this file, this app running. We're going to take this SCT device and we're going to plug it into the computer. Give it something to load up. And then we're going to go here to load custom tune file. We'll say gather information, and then it's going to show you all the files. So right here, we have to find where our files are at. Give me a second, and wherever you downloaded them at, that's where you're going to find them. Hold on. All right, so once you find the tune, you're going to set it into this available tune spot right here. And then click on it and click over there. And then all you're going to do is hit program. And there he is. Now it's onto the device. All right, I'm going to hit you back in the car and we're going to download the tune and see if it does anything. All right, for my final thoughts on the SCT4 Pro. What I do like is tuning capability. It's not very expensive. And it's very compact and portable, which is all great things. What I dislike about it is definitely having that $250 fee for to be able to unmarry it was kind of like, I didn't like that. I thought that was like way too expensive. I also don't like the design of it. It doesn't feel very premium, like you're paying very much for like a premium system. It's all like in the software. The tunes I've gotten for it has been great. I do like the way I was able to disable the PAT system, which is great. That's the only way I could even get this feature, but I think there could be a lot more improvement done in these devices. So right now we don't have very many options for these Mustangs. So if you're going to get one, I'd recommend getting it, but I do think there could be better options available, but this is pretty much all we have on the market for right now. I just wish they improved it and had a higher quality for it. For my final thoughts on the cold air intake, I do believe the sound difference isn't as much as I would expect. I still like it. You're not going to feel very much performance gains, but I think it looks amazing. It looks nice. The install was real quick and simple. It took less than about 30 minutes. And at the price tag of $100, you really can't beat it. And I think that helped out with the throttle response of the vehicle. It's definitely ain't going to win no drag racing, but this car is fun with the manual transmission anyway. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. All right, and that's it for the video. Thank you.